Hey everyone, welcome to another limited color palette video. Today we are going to look at Aussie Red Gold, Quinacridone Lilac and Sleeping Beauty Turquoise Genuine. These are three colors that I bought recently. This is the sketch that I'm going to color today. This was sketched 1 week earlier at a cafe. You may have watched that cafe sketching video. So before we start painting this, let's create some color swatches. I've not used these three colors before. Aussie Red Gold was recommended to me by a viewer. Quinacridone looks like this, and this is Sleeping Beauty Turquoise. Looks like the gum arabic has separated from the pigment. Aussie Red Gold is a combination of three pigments: PY83, PR101 and PV19. Quinacridone Lilac, this is PR122. It looks like I did not dissolve some of the pigment properly. And lastly we have Sleeping Beauty Turquoise, which looks like the only opaque color that I have here. This is a very pastel-like color. And now let's paint the color wheel. So I'm going to add a little bit of Quin Lilac to Aussie Red Gold. I'm not sure if I've added too much. Let me add a bit more. Okay, I think I've definitely added a bit too much here. Let me redo this swatch here. Just by adding a bit of Quinacridone Lilac. I think it should look something like this rather than like this. For the color swatch that I painted earlier, it wasn't particularly strong, so this is how the condensed version of Quinacridone Lilac should look like. And let's add a little bit of Sleeping Beauty Turquoise to it. This is how it looks. Let me add a little bit more. This is Sleeping Beauty Turquoise. And let's add a little bit of Aussie Red Gold to it. So we have this muted green. Let's add a bit more. As usual, let's mix the three colors together to see what kind of grays or black we can get. This is a bit reddish, so let's add a bit more green to it. This is with a lot of turquoise added. This is with a lot of pigment, so the paint is very thick. It's really difficult to get a darker shade of this gray. With some limited palettes it's really easy, but with this particular palette it's very difficult to get that black unless you use a lot of paint. I guess you can get good contrast. You can definitely see the individual color undertone within this dark color, and that's fine. Now that the colors are almost dry, let's take a closer look at them. So Aussie Red Gold looks pretty nice, very transparent, and I can definitely use this straight from the tube. This is muted yellow and it's not too glaring, not like lemon yellow when you use it straight from the tube. Quinacridone Lilac, this is a bit diluted. The actual color should look something like this, which is actually quite close to Quinacridone Magenta, but Quinacridone Magenta is a bit deeper. And for my blue, I have Genuine Sleeping Beauty Turquoise, which is a very pastel blue. Usually for mixing black or very dark tones, a stronger blue will be better. So this is the color wheel. We can get a bright orange, sort of a very intense orange, not as vibrant, but it's still quite intense. So we can get a very nice red when you mix Quinacridone Lilac with Aussie Red Gold. These are the purples you can get, and they look quite nice. I can still see the Sleeping Beauty color within the purple. So this color will definitely look even nicer if you let the colors mix on the paper rather than mix completely in the palette. It looks like there is some sort of granulation within Sleeping Beauty Turquoise. And this is how it looks when you add a little bit of Aussie Red Gold to it. You can still see the individual colors showing, which is quite nice. And this is a brown, sort of like a brown color when you add more Aussie Red Gold, and this is Aussie Red Gold, which looks very much like an orange color. Let's compare Aussie Red Gold with Quinacridone Deep Gold. So Aussie Red Gold, it's cleaner, it's brighter, and Quinacridone Deep Gold, it's a bit more muted. And this is New Gumbosh, which I have just painted for comparison. So I can probably get this color with New Gumbosh by adding some other colors. So I will not have this color in my palette if I already have New Gumbosh. And between these two colors, I will pick Quinacridone Deep Gold. Let's take a look at the sketch again and also at the reference photo. This is the reference photo. I see a lot of brown, red bricks. This is the gray tone area. We have dark browns for the chairs. These are the black, really dark areas. This would be very difficult to paint because it's very difficult to get a concentrated dark and black color from this limited palette unless you really use a lot of paint. But other than that, I think this is mostly a very warm scene with a lot of browns, and even the gray tone here on the floor, it's a bit warm as well. Alright, let's start by painting the large areas first. I'm going to mix some Sleeping Beauty Turquoise to get that gray tone again. I'm using a squirrel brush. This is the Color Pro Series 2803. So I'm just going to color and paint over all these areas. And now for the bricks, I'm going to add some lilac, Quinacridone lilac to it. So as I was drawing the brick walls, there's this lady who came over and stood in front of the cashier. So that's why you can see all these brick walls showing through, because I drew this later on. It's really difficult and really challenging to mix dark shades like this, and that's because Sleeping Beauty Turquoise, it's already quite pastel-like to begin with. Usually when you want to mix a black or a very dark shade, it's better to use a strong blue like phthalo blue or French ultramarine. Those are great colors for mixing like blacks. But here, this is actually the darkest I can get. And when you mix the paints in such concentration, they become very sticky. Sometimes it's very difficult to paint because the paint doesn't flow that well anymore. I think Sleeping Beauty Turquoise is best used on its own, where it's not being mixed too much with other colors. So you get a really nice shade like this, a pastel blue color. It doesn't have a lot of granulation. This is the red mixed with Aussie Red Gold and Quinacridone Lilac. I like this shade. It's a very pinkish shade, and if you add more Aussie Red Gold to it, you get a really nice red like this. So these are the bricks that I colored with this mixture. I like this color, it's really nice. And for the bread, I painted mostly with Aussie Red Gold. So you can use this color straight from the tube. It will not look too out of place or too glaring. This is how the three colors will look when you mix them together. And it's very easy to get a brown color with these three colors. If you mix the colors too completely on the palette, they are going to become muddy quite easily. So for me, when I'm painting colors like this, usually I try to let the colors mix on paper as much as possible so that I can still see the individual colors that are used to create this wash. So I can see Aussie Red Gold, I can see Sleeping Beauty Turquoise. These areas here, they are supposed to be black like this, but it's so difficult to mix this color that after painting for a while, I just gave up. So now it looks like there is not a lot of contrast. Everything is sort of in the same value. So to conclude, Aussie Red Gold and Quinacridone Lilac, they are pretty good colors for mixing. And in this limited palette, it seems like Sleeping Beauty Turquoise is not that good of a mixer. I'm not sure how well it will perform with other colors. Maybe I will make some more videos with this. So that's all for my video today. Thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you want to check out the high resolution scans of the color swatches and my sketch, I will put a link in the video description below. You can check them out there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.